If you're looking to find out about the only real way to lose weight, stick around. Damien the Kung Fit Coach here, and in case you couldn't tell from the title of this video, I got fat. But never fear, I'm on a mission to get from quarantine to lean, and I'm going to take you on this journey with me so you can learn more about how you can lose weight effectively. In this first part, I'll take you through how to effectively diet, and then the next one, linked at the end, I'll go through a little bit more detail how you can actually implement this. If you want to skip straight to the info, go to this timestamp here, but I think it's important to lay a little bit of groundwork first. First, we should talk about why you might actually want to diet. The most important one is health reasons. Maybe you want to be fitter, or your doctor has advised that you need to lose some weight. For most people though, the primary driver is going to be how they look. Now, not a lot of people would look at me and go, ooh, he's fat. But I have put on a significant amount of fat compared to where I was, and I'm not as healthy or as fit. It doesn't matter whether you've got a little weight to lose or a lot. If you're not happy about how you feel, there's nothing wrong with saying that you want to lose some weight, just so long as you don't take it to unhealthy extremes. When someone tells you that they're looking to lose weight, it's not helpful to scoff. It can be tough, and they might need your support, not another mental barrier. That being said, if people are stressing that you shouldn't lose any more weight, they may well be right. Body dysmorphia and eating disorders are serious issues, so please speak to your doctor. Now, you might be wondering, how did I get to the point where I woke up one day and my trousers just didn't fit very well anymore? Well, the sad truth is, it can happen to any of us. It started last Christmas with a surplus of food that we couldn't share with family as we'd intended, followed by a workload that was pretty crazy at the start of this year. I had less time for exercise and cooking, and a bunch of stress to comfort you through. A quadruple helping of trouble. On top of that, we decided to move to the other side of the world, leaving us with even less time. Then when we got here, 2 weeks in quarantine, with literal mountains of food being delivered every day, and us not wanting it to go to waste. That's a pretty extreme combination of circumstances. But that combination of less time, more stress can happen to all of us. All is going fine, and then one day you wake up and realise you're not where you want to be. With all that out of the way then, let's look at what we're dealing with. Now, having just moved to Australia and all my stuff being sat on a ship somewhere, I don't have any scales to weigh myself. But based on the weight I was before I flew, I'd estimate I'm around 66, 67 kilograms here. I didn't realise at the time, but the lighting in this room is actually pretty flattering. I look a lot leaner than I actually am. Bear in mind that at my leanest, I was around 59.5 kilograms. I want to try and get back down to that weight. And when dieting, you should look to lose between 0.5 and 1% of your body weight each week. This helps you avoid the dreaded weight loss yo-yo cycle. If you're new to tracking food and dieting, it's best to lean towards the lower end of the scale whilst you get used to this. I'm going to be going for half a kilo a week, which is about halfway in between. Now let's look at how I'm going to do this. The number one thing that we need to do is create a calorie deficit. There are lots of different strategies for managing your eating, such as intermittent fasting or intuitive eating, but the only real way to lose weight is to consume fewer calories than you use in your daily activities. All of these strategies are just ways of trying to get to that state. These may or may not work for you, and you might need to do a bit of playing around to find one that does, both in terms of adherence and simple efficacy of putting you into that calorie deficit. But if you're serious about this, the one guaranteed strategy, if you can stick to it, is calorie counting. In order to count your calories in the easiest way, you're going to need two things: some scales and your phone. Everything you eat and drink, you're going to log with a calorie counting app such as MyFitnessPal. For anything pre-packaged, it's easy enough. Just scan the barcode. For anything which you're making from base ingredients yourself, or you're not eating the whole packet of, you're going to need to weigh. And don't forget things like coffee. Those spiced pumpkin lattes sure add up. This will allow you to keep track of exactly what it is that you're eating, both in terms of calories and its macronutrients: protein, carbohydrates, and fats. These are just as important for staying healthy and maximizing your chance of success. Once you're tracking what you're eating, you need to create that calorie deficit. This can be done in two ways: increase your activity level or reduce the amount that you eat. Remember that you can't out-exercise a bad diet though. It's considerably easier to eat a whole pack of biscuits than it is to run them off. So even better is to up your activity and reduce the amount you eat, both at the same time. That way we can eat a little bit more and gain those added benefits of doing exercise. So we know that we have to create a calorie deficit and we're tracking what we eat. But how do we know how much to eat to hit that weekly 0.5 to 1% body weight loss goal? For this, we need to use a calorie calculator. There are hundreds of these available online, and the best will show you the macronutrient breakdowns as well. But after realizing I kept adjusting the results I got based on my knowledge about nutrition, I ended up just building my own. You can find a link to that down below, and the video linked here and again at the end will talk you through how to use it. As a bonus tip, if you're struggling with feeling hungry after cutting your calories, try spreading your food into more, smaller meals and make sure that you eat slowly, really chewing every mouthful. It will help you feel a lot fuller. Next, let's talk about the duration of the diet. For most people, we should diet between 6 and 9 weeks. But if you've been successful at a diet before, i.e. stuck to it for the full duration and kept the weight off afterwards, you could go up to 12, but do not go any longer than this. I'll talk about this a little bit more in a few weeks in part 3 of the series, linked up here if you're watching in the future. But essentially the reason is your metabolism is going to slow, and then when you stop the diet, all of that weight will just rush straight back on. Okay, so it's 6 weeks since I started filming this video, and here we have my progress so far. Despite the worst lighting, hopefully you can see that I've made some good progress, and I can happily tell you that my trousers now fit a lot better. Now ideally I'd be in the same location with the same lighting, but I've moved from a hotel to my new place, so that's not possible. It's worth noting at this point that weight is really just a number, but it's useful for tracking your progress. However, if you don't have scales like me, progress pictures and tape measurements also work. For example, you can measure around your waist at the same point each time. Because muscle gain is also a factor when you exercise, ideally you'd pick 2 out of these 3. If you want to see the final results, make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell so you know when the next video comes out. Now I could have made a little bit more progress if I'm honest with you, but I've fallen off the wagon a few times. There's been some emotional eating, some busy days, and to be honest, sometimes I just really wanted biscuits. But I've tried to balance things out across the week when I have had a bad day. The weekly tracker in MyFitnessPal is great for this. You can try to balance out day to day just by looking at your daily figures, but it's easy to not realise how you're actually doing. The weekly view really makes this crystal clear. We'll catch up on my progress once my next 6 weeks are done, and we'll talk a little bit more about that maintenance phase. I'm not expecting to hit my target weight in one go, and introducing a maintenance phase rather than just keeping on going can have a massive impact on our body's ability to adjust, helping us keep the weight off for the long term. For now, go watch this video, which is going to talk you through how to use what just might be the best calorie counter on the internet. I wish you the best of luck with your weight loss journey. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments below, and I shall see you soon.